All right, we're back with another Prize Picks video. We're going to be talking about Thursday Night Football tonight. We got the Bucs and the Bills. If you're looking for NBA, that video will come out shortly after this, so I'm not skipping NBA today. It's going to have its own video, and I just want to get you guys as many picks as possible, and you can definitely mix and match between the videos as well. But if you're new to this channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. We've been growing like crazy, already over 1,400 subscribers, and the channel is just over a month old. And a lot of that has to do with you guys, just being awesome and hitting that subscribe button. But the consistency is key. If you want to see, daily content like this, go ahead and subscribe and be ready for at least one video a day. Also, like the video. We got over 100 likes last time for the first time ever. And I just want to see how far that, that like button or that like number can go. So if you're watching right now, just hit that like button. It takes, 1 second, less than that. And then comments down below have been great. I love hearing you guys. Oh, I'm tailing. Or oh, I like these two picks. They're my favorite. I comboed those two. And if you hate one of these picks, let me know in the comments down below. Also, I always try to say, like, if you try to change my mind or something like that, we'll have a conversation down below. But that's enough for the intro. Let's just jump right into the picks here. I'm gonna give you guys 6 picks. Again, it's one game, so it's hard to go 6 for 6 on one game. And specifically, a lot of these are gonna be combos or stacks. So if one hits, the other should hit. And let's just jump into Josh Allen. You could look at his passing yards at 262.5. I'm actually going to be favoring his fantasy score here. And it's a game that their 10-point favorites are 9.5-point favorites. So that's going to be a theme for these picks today. So it's a game script that they shouldn't be passing the ball a whole lot down the stretch. But the Bills do a lot of their damage in the air. So I'm favoring Allen to have a great, first half, first 3 quarters. And if the Bucs do, keep it close, that's just more insurance there as well. So I like his fantasy score here at 21.0. I could see him if there was a way to bet this, I would, that he gets a rushing touchdown today. The Bucs give up, I think, like 0.5 rushing touchdowns per game, but Josh Allen is a guy, he has 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. So I like that chance of happening, and obviously he has end zone threats as well. We'll be talking about Diggs in a little bit here, but Josh Allen 21.0 fantasy score. We can do the little 5 here. He has gone over that line in 4 of the last 5. If we look at his passing yards now, just remember that 4 of the last 5 for the fantasy score, 3 of the last 5 in terms of passing yards. So just another reason to kind of favor that fantasy score line. And hopefully they score, a decent amount of touchdowns tonight, and he can throw all over this team. This team's a very poor passing defense, so liking the combo there. And his main guy, his main weapon we're going to be targeting is going to be Diggs, and I'm going to go to his fantasy score also. PrizePicks needs to fix this. It's so frustrating. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if I'm looking up Diggs, then in 5 or 10 seconds, it's just going to go back to the home screen as I'm like, oh, do I want to do his receiving yards? Do I want to do his fantasy score? It will just back out as I'm looking at that. But we're going to go to his fantasy score. We're going to do a double stack of fantasy score for the quarterback and his number 1 receiver. Diggs has been killing it. I was definitely looking at this receiving yards line, but it's very inflated to 90.5 on PrizePicks now. I was seeing it at like 85 earlier. But let's just jump into Diggs' page and check them out. So yeah, they got it at 85.5 over on Outlier. That looks like what it's opened at and what it's been pretty consistently at on Outlier. This is typically, what other sportsbooks might have them at. But we got him at 89 or something like that, 89.5, which is technically plus money here. But I think people are thinking he's going to have a great game, and I think he's going to have a bounce-back game. Against New England, only 58 yards. Obviously a good passing defense in New England. Now he's got a better matchup here in Tampa Bay. And I think he could, go over this 100-yard mark for the 5th time this season. But I'm liking his fantasy score line just because of the inflation on PrizePicks at that 90.5. I wouldn't shy away from that at 90.5. But I just think, he's capable of getting that fantasy score pretty easily as well. But let's just check out Diggs here. In terms of the passing yards, 4 of the last 5 games, he's done that. And then for fantasy-wise, he's gone over in 4 of the past 5 games. Also, just missed it against New England at 17.8 in the game that he only had like 58 receiving yards. But yeah, I think he has a great night. I think Josh Allen and Diggs have a great night. So that's going to be the first combo here. And then on the Tampa Bay side of things, we're really going to lean into this game script. They're 9.5 point underdogs, and I think a pass-heavy offense is going to pass, even more in a game script where they should be down. So you can expect them to be passing the whole game, I would think. If you think Tampa Bay is going to be, leading this game or very, very close to leading this game, maybe don't go with these bets. I just wanted to preface this before I go into a very large stack for Tampa Bay here. And let's start off with Mayfield. I'm actually just going to rapid fire all these guys in here. We're going to go to Mayfield's over passing yards. We're going to go to Mike Evans over passing yards. And we're going to go to Godwin's over passing yards. And let's jump into their pages specifically. But again, this is very game script heavy in a game that they should be down, but hopefully not blown out. The Bills have a very good passing defense, or very middle of the road passing defense, solid, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. So let's jump into their pages and kind of let the stats do the talking for them. We'll start with Mike Evans here, and we are going to see something that I don't talk about too much. But as you can see, the odds are -115. This is over 57.5. But we do have a positive EV bet, meaning we have an advantage on the sports books here. And when you take away the advantage from the sports books that they typically have, they call it a DVIG odds. You can show that the true percentage that this bet will hit is at -140. So you can look up videos of how to explain that better than I can. But just goes to show that this is a very solid bet. Just in terms of the odds in general and what Vegas thinks is going to happen. But if we look at what Mike Evans has done so far this year, 4 of the 6 games he's gone over this receiving yards line. In the one of these games I do want to point to as well that he didn't go over, he had 49 yards against Detroit, and it was a game he had 10 targets, and just honestly Mayfield was just missing him. So this could have easily been 5 of the 6 targets, and in the other game they were up big and didn't really need to pass the ball. I think he was 3 for 3 in terms of receptions on this game. I forgot we can look at targets. Yeah, he was 3 for 3 in the receptions and targets, and then in this game he had 10 targets and only had the 4 receptions, just getting missed by his quarterback. But I like Evans here. I think Tampa Bay could have a solid game against this Bills defense that, again, I talked about them being banged up. Their list of injuries just continues to grow. So this red 11 here, even though it's almost middle of the road in terms of receiving yards allowed, it's not really scaring me too much. So Evans, positive EV play, which is something new to this app that's popping up whenever it's something really nice to see. Also coupling with his what he's done so far this year. So I'm liking Evans today. Let's jump into Godwin here. Godwin in the similar boat, very solid year so far this year. In terms of injuries, I don't know if I've mentioned that, but Godwin and Mayfield were questionable going into this game. They might still have that questionable tag, but looking like they're both going to play. So I'm going to play them as I normally would. Godwin over in 4 of 6 games here. They got it 53.5, but we're fine with 54.5. 4 of 6 games. Obviously, potential to have those big games like he's done with this against New Orleans. And it's kind of interesting. I would almost guarantee that one of these guys hits this line, whether it's Godwin or Mayfield, or not Mayfield, Godwin or Evans. But I like them both hitting today, just because what we've seen, whether projection models, whether it's been what their history is saying. So I'm liking the overlap here. Godwin and Evans are obviously the number 1 and 2 targets, getting 25% of the target share each. So they're gobbling up 50% of the passing yards altogether. So I'm really, really liking them today. I think they have a very solid game in terms of getting those receptions, getting those yards, and I like the combo here. And then last but not least, let's go to Mayfield. This is someone that you could look at for fantasy score also if you think he'll be able to get into the end zone. But that Bills defense does tend to not let teams pass touchdowns on them or run touchdowns on them. I know Mayfield's not a big runner, but let's just jump into his passing yards, what we can see. And yeah, so in terms of passing yards, another positive EV bet here. So the Vegas is expecting Mayfield, Evans, and Godwin to have great games today. So if you're someone that goes just directly off that, you're getting very good value here. And then for Mayfield, he's gone over in 3 of the 6 games. We talked about his completion rate. Looks like he's up at 70%, but there's been some receptions that he really could hit their target, and he's just missed. So I think I hope and I think he locks in for this primetime game. Maybe get some of those completions that he might not typically get. and you'd expect that to be to Evans or to a Godwin. So I like the 3-man stack here in a game that they should be throwing the entire time. And then on top of that, we're going to go to White. I can't spell. We're going to go to White to kind of complete this total game script play. I will again say that if you think that Tampa Bay is going to come out here and win this game, yes, all these could hit for sure. But specifically for this White one, we're going to go under on White's rushing yards. So if you think they're going to be leading, maybe White doesn't rush as much. But let's go to White and why I really like this one. This one's very correlated in terms of game script all year. I literally cannot spell this guy's name. White, you can look at his rushing attempts. That was something I looked at. But we're going to go right to his yards. Looks like we're getting slow internet here. But what it's going to show is that on games that they have been down, White does not get this line. On games that they have been up, he does get this line. So this is rush attempts. We're going to be looking at rushing yards. Really slowing down here. Come on. Come on, outlier. Hustle. All right, here we go. Sometimes you just got to refresh the page. On games that they have been down, he missed it here. They were favoring the pass game. Oh, sorry, this one specifically wasn't, of course. But this was a close game against Minnesota. This game, they were up, favored the run. That's why he hit it. This game, they were up, favored the run. That's why he hit it. This game, they were down. That's why they favored the passing game. He didn't get there. This game, they were down, didn't run too much. And then this game also, they were down and didn't run too much. So very correlated in terms of game script. This is at 43.5. It's 46.5 on PrizePicks. So we're getting minus 135 odds also. So really, really liking that. It's a team that I've mentioned a few times, passes more than they run. And with a game that they should be down, I hope and I think that White doesn't get too much involved in the running game. So that's going to do it. 6-man bet here. We got Allen, 21.0 fantasy score. We're going over. We're coupling him with Stephon Diggs at 18.5 fantasy score. Both these guys are over. And then we got a 3-man, passing, receiving kind of combo with Mayfield over 228.5. Evans and Godwin also over their receiving yards at 58.5 and 54.5 respectively. And then Rachaad White at 46.5 rush yards as our only under for the video. But yeah, stay tuned for NBA if you want to hold off and combo those picks with these picks. I just wanted to get you guys as many picks as possible today. So that's going to do it for Thursday Night Football, and I hope we all make some money tonight. Peace out.